Let's get some price picks in today, guys. Last night's picks went 7-1, so I'm including all those picks that I gave from the dashboard. Unfortunately, I know there was a ton of bumps. I'm not exactly sure what you guys were able to get in once the video actually got uploaded. I know Donovan Mitchell got bumped to 21. If you still took that, he still cashed. Cam Johnson also got bumped down to 20 points, rebounds, assists, still cashed. And I think Bridges got completely removed off the board. I'm not exactly sure. For Cutter Crawford, I do think he stayed on the boards. But honestly, no matter what you took from last night's video, you probably cashed. The only pick that did not cash here was Mike Conley on his under PRA. Other than that, the picks from the dashboard, I gave out these four here. Now, Kolo Muani and Felix did not start, so they did not even play. And Robert Lewandowski did play. He only got 2 shots, so that cashed there. Then these were all the NBA picks I took. Chris Middleton was out, and the other ones were just what I just went over in the slip. And then the other 2 MLB picks, Spencer Steer on his under total bases, as well as Tommy Henry on his over 4.5 pitcher strikeouts. Both cashed. So very nice 7-1 day. And if you guys were not able to get this full slip, you at least had the bumper placements, which also cashed. So no matter what, you should have made some money yesterday if you were tailing the picks from last night's video. Now, I got each and every one of these picks from the OddsJuice dashboard, but the problem is when I'm uploading these videos, these lines basically get bumped because these are basically the best lines on Prizepicks at any given moment. So what happens is they eventually get bumped because they're too good value on Prizepicks. That's just kind of how their system works. When a pick is too good, they're going to bump it or completely remove it from the board. So like I could show you all these picks, and I will show you right now as replacements for generally any pick you don't like in the slip I'm about to show you, and as well as replacements for anything that ends up getting bumped in the slip I'm about to show you. So no matter what, you guys have a bunch of picks you could play with here. These are the soccer ones. I generally like leaning towards soccer, like Luis Diaz on his under 3.5 shots. It's pretty good here, all the way at 59% likeness to hit. Alex McAllister is a good push line. That's if you guys want to throw that into your entry. And then Kudus is also a very good line. So similar to João Felix that I explained in yesterday's video, he set out 1.5 on the sportsbook. And they're actually saying there's a 53% chance he goes under that 1.5. We're getting him at 2. There's no reason for this line to be that high at 2. It should be set at 1.5. So you want to take advantage of that extra half point. Then you got some other ones that are good in the NBA. You got Jalen Duren on his over PRA. You got Jalen Green on his over 2.5 3-point made. And then MLB, we got JP Sears under 16.5 pitching outs. And then Brock Nelson being the best pick in the major sports here at over 2.5 shots on goal in the NHL. About a 56% chance that cashes. So you could make a completely new slip with these or just use them as replacement picks for the NBA slip that I'm just going to create right here. So again, I can make a full slip with the picks from the OddsJuice dashboard. If you guys want to try it, it's actually free for 7 days. So go there and you can find the best value picks before they get bumped. Because if I just do it in a video, there's absolutely no point because by the time it uploads, they're going to all be bumped either way. So I might as well just go my correlation stacks that are less likely to get bumped. So we're going to start that off with Chicago versus Detroit here. We're going with Kobe White on his over 4.5 assists as the first leg of our slip. And we're pairing this up with Vucevic on his over 33.5 PRA, or you could go with his over 41.5 fantasy score. Let's get into these picks right now. So if we go over to the NBA, we see the Chicago Bulls are up against the Pistons. Pistons at home with a 9.5 spread towards the Bulls and a 220 total. So not really a high-paced game. It's not near that 230, 240 mark, but it's also not near that 200. So kind of a fair total here. We could expect some points and maybe a blowout. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that crazy of a game in terms of the Bulls blowing out the Pistons. So we're going to go with 2 overs either way. We still expect the minutes on both these players. If we check Kobe White to start, you see his assist line is minus 115 on the over, minus 115 on the under. What does that mean? Basically a 50-50 chance that Kobe White goes over or under his props. I'm leaning towards the over today because it's an easy matchup, but also because I want to be pairing it up with Vucevic, who does have juice towards his over 33.5 on his over PRA. These guys go very nice together. Of course, Vuce is going to be getting a lot of points that are assisted. About 78.6% of his field goals made are assisted, but he's also going to be rebounding a lot. If we go to centers and we actually sort by FanDuel fantasy points, you see that the Pistons are the 3rd easiest matchup for centers for FanDuel fantasy points. And FanDuel fantasy points have the exact same calculation as Prizepicks fantasy points. That is why I also said that fantasy score is a good shout. PRA and fantasy score are pretty similar, except fantasy score does include those steals and blocks. Vucevic expected about like 2 steals and blocks, and that gives an extra 6 fantasy score. But you can see that PRA is also a good line because of how much points, rebounds, assists also count towards fantasy score. And we have this super easy matchup. On top of the easy matchup, we have potential outs on this team. So Dunmo and Caruso are both game time decisions. Of course, it's going to help usage rates for both Kobe White and Vucevic if either one of those guys are out. If both of them are out, even better. Obviously, Caruso is on this green, which means he's more likely to pay, but Dosunmu might be out here, helping the overall production of the players we do have the overs on. So that's always great to see when you're grabbing overs. You want unexpected lineup changes, and in this case, we might get that in our favor. Moving on, we're actually going to the Portland Trailblazers, and this is a stack I always love taking. Now, we're actually going to take 4 guys from this specific game. Let's start with the Trailblazers here. We're going at Ayton on his over 23.5 points. I mean, he's been doing very well recently, averaging 26 in the last 5. He cleared this in this game versus the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Pelicans. Note that down because we're taking an under on a different Portland player, and that's going to be on Jabari Walker on his under 12.5 points. Again, I always do this concept here. If one player is going over their points prop, it's less likely that another player on their team is also going over the points prop. There's only so many points a team will get in a game, and it's not often that you're going to see a lot of players from the same team go over their points prop in that starting lineup because there's just not enough points to go around. And you can see the total is quite low here in this game, 222. So obviously Portland's not going to be scoring a lot of points, and definitely not enough points for multiple starters to go over their points prop. We're hoping that Jabari Walker is one of those starters that is not going to be going over their points prop in this case, and Ayton is going to be carrying the load here. Now, if we check the actual player props on both these guys, we see that Ayton does have juice towards his over 23.5, so lines are ripping towards the over 24.5. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets bumped to 24 points. At 23, it's definitely a take. Jabari Walker doesn't have juice towards his under or over, but again, because we're getting that sort of correlation between Ayton going over his points, we might as well grab Jabari Walker on his under 12.5 points. You could go with similar concepts like with Scoot Henderson on his under 18.5 points, but I just prefer Jabari Walker in this specific case. And like I said, if we go and check Jabari Walker's games, when he clears this line, you see it in this first game, this second game, and the fourth game. He cleared his line in this third game, this fifth game, in this second game. So in the past 5 games, there's only been one game where they actually went over together in the same direction. I'll just show you that once again on Ayton. You can see only in this game versus the Hornets, they both went over their props. Other than that, in this first game, Ayton went under, Walker went over, and same thing for all the other games. So in the past 4 out of 5, at the very least, they have been going in the opposite direction. So Ayton on the over and Jabari Walker on the under has actually hit 12 out of 26 times this season. So that means this specific duo is hitting 46% of the time, and I have been writing it in the recent games, and it hasn't been failing me. Now from the same game, I'm going to grab 2 Golden State players, and I'm kind of playing on another injury play like I'm going on the Bulls. So if we go down to Golden State, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green are both questionable, and I did check the injury status on these guys. I'm not sure if they're going to play or not, but if there is a good time to rest either of these guys, I think it's versus the Trailblazers. But they're definitely going to need as many wins as possible. Golden State is, I believe, at that 10th seed right now. So they're definitely going to be giving it their all. And that's also why I'm not concerned about the blowout potential, because I am taking 2 overs on this specific game for Golden State. And I'm taking the over on Ayton. Even though it's a minus 13.5 spread and a low total, I do think they're going to be playing as much as possible to really ensure that they get this win tonight. So I'm not worried about minutes and any restrictions. So I'm going to go for 2 players that are expected to play. And you see right here, Steph Curry on the over 5.5 assists is the first one I'm leaning towards. If Draymond Green is out, this is going to really help Curry's line. He's going to get boosted to probably 6 if Draymond does confirm that he's, or even if Klay is out, I think he'll still get boosted to 6. So that is going to be the first play. And we're going to be pairing this up with someone who gets a lot of points from assists. And that's going to be Trace here, not on the over 10.5 points, but on his over 17.5 points and rebounds. Go and check his assisted field goal made. You're going to see 74.2% of his field goal made are going to be assisted. Of course, that's going to build off very nicely off Curry assists. But on top of that, the reason I didn't go with his points is that you do see it does have juice towards his under 10.5 points. So a way to kind of avoid that while still kind of including his points prop is to grab either his PR or his PA. So if you check his points plus rebounds, you see that he does have juice towards the over 17.5 here at minus 120. And his points assist is even better here, juice to minus 125 on that over 11.5. So you could go with either of these. I don't really mind, but definitely go with the PR or the PA instead of the points. You're getting a little bit of extra value because you get that chance for that assist to really take you over here. And on the PR, you get all those extra rebounds to help you cash. No matter what, I'm going for a minutes play here. So if he cashes his PR, he probably cashes PA either way. So that is going to be the full slip, plus those replacement picks if they're not bumped by the time you see this video. So that is going to be the full slip.